He thought he was the hunter. But the night he killed became the night he could never escape. Each murder resets time. The same diner, the same screams, the same death. He's trapped in his own hell.
This is
Kill Me Again, 2025.
The movie begins in a quiet roadside diner. Two customers, Sam and Gary, are watching a breaking news report about a brutal serial killer named the Midnight Mangler. Just then, a man named Charlie walks in, and Anna, the waitress, walks toward him to take his order. But he starts flirting with her, even asking her to join him for a meal. But she refuses immediately, finding him strange. So strange. And moves on. Soon, a group of 3 young junkies enter, and when Anna goes to take their order, they start mocking her, calling her mom, and cruelly remind her how she once wanted to be a nurse, but got knocked up instead. Anna tries to ignore their insults and returns to Charlie's table with the menu card, where he tries to flirt again, but fails. After her shift, Anna steps outside, only to find Charlie waiting for her, smoking beside his truck. He asks her out again, but she lies, saying she's married and her husband is waiting at home. Moments later, Anna realizes he's following her. She turns around, pulls out her pepper spray, and warns him to stay back. But Charlie suddenly draws a gun and threatens to shoot if she doesn't come with him. Terrified, Anna pleads for her life, saying she has a little girl waiting at home, but Charlie doesn't care. He drags her into his old pickup truck. Desperate, Anna tries to distract him, saying she'll go on a date tomorrow, even describing what she'll wear: a seductive red dress. Charlie smirks, then stabs her with a knife. He exhales, calm, almost relieved, and then he's back inside the diner. Everything looks exactly the same. The same customers, the same news report, and Anna, alive and smiling like nothing ever happened. Confused and shaken, Charlie sits down as Anna comes to take his order again. He nervously asks if they've met before, but she doesn't remember him. He then approaches a quiet man sitting in the corner named David, but David doesn't reply. Charlie feels like he's seen him somewhere but can't recall where. When Anna finishes her shift again, Charlie follows her outside and forces her into his truck at gunpoint again. She begs for mercy, but he kills her anyway. Then, time resets. Charlie is back inside the diner once more. Charlie screams in confusion, shocking everyone. He thinks they're all part of some cruel prank and demands Anna lift her shirt to prove she's real. Sam tries to intervene, but Charlie pulls out his gun and orders him to stay quiet before aiming at Anna again. With no other choice, terrified Anna pulls off her shirt, and Charlie is stunned. There's no wound. She's alive, but how? At that moment, the junkies enter the diner, but Charlie yells and stops them from entering, saying that they're closed. Just then, Sam shoots him dead. But once again, time resets, and Charlie finds himself in the diner once more. He screams at Sam for shooting him and hurls curses before he shoots Sam dead and flees, but ends up inside the same diner once again. Panic grips him as he tries again and again to escape the diner, only to be trapped in the same endless loop. Realizing that he can't escape this place, Charlie calms down and begins watching everyone closely. His eyes land on 2 nurses sitting nearby, especially one named Sophie. Then he approaches David again, ranting about the loop, begging for advice. But David just stares silently, unmoved. Charlie grows restless. He starts harassing a middle-aged couple, quickly realizing they're having an affair. When the man gets angry, Charlie grins and pulls out his gun, ordering him to sit down. He jokes that the man's wife hired him to kill him, then laughs it off and pays for their meal before walking away. Later, he flirts with the nurses, but they ignore him. When Sophie goes to the restroom, Charlie follows her and kills her. He hides her body in a garbage cart, but a janitor spots him. Charlie shoots the janitor dead. The second nurse comes looking for Sophie, but Charlie lies, pretending to drive her around to help look for her friend, but she refuses and goes inside. Upon returning inside, Charlie interrupts the cheating couple's tense conversation again. The man tells him to mind his own business, but Charlie just smiles. and in one swift motion, he slashes the woman's throat, whispering, according to the Bible, adulterers must die. He then drives his knife straight into the man's eyes, killing him in cold blood. Chaos erupts in the diner as everyone screams. Charlie proudly reveals he's the Midnight Mangler, claiming he planned to kill them all anyway, but before he can shoot again, the chef sneaks up and smashes him dead. Then, time resets again. Nobody remembers anything, what had happened in the previous loop. So Charlie, realizing it will all reset again, he goes Rampage, killing everyone in different ways, each loop more brutal than the last. He feels unstoppable, like a god trapped in his own twisted playground. But after countless murders, he grows tired and hungry, so he asks Anna for eggs and bacon. But she says they don't serve breakfast. Angry, he demands the chef make him an omelet, but the chef refuses, so Charlie attacks him. In hand-to-hand combat, but the chef easily kills him. In the next loops, Charlie keeps fighting the chef, but loses every single time. Finally, he shoots the chef dead. He then grabs some eggs from the fridge and finally makes the omelet he so desperately craved. Then he finally puts the gun to his head and blows his brains out, hoping the loop will end. But Charlie once again finds himself in the same diner. But this time there's something different. He notices an old man sitting at a table who wasn't there in the previous loop. But moments later, that man disappears, leaving him completely confused. Now, exhausted from the repeated loops, Charlie falls asleep on the table despite Anna's request that he leave. He's eventually woken up by two officers who were reported by the waitress Anna and found he is the serial killer they have been searching for. Charlie tries to resist the arrest, even though he knows he'll never make it to the station. Then, time resets once again. Now, drained and defeated, Charlie collapses in front of David. This time, David finally speaks and mocks Charlie for giving up so easily, comparing him to other killers, Sabraj, Dahmer, Bundy, on how they will react in this situation. He even provokes him what his daddy would do if he was in his place, and calls him a worthless piece of shit, and urges him to take action instead of whining. Enraged but strangely motivated, Charlie snaps and goes on another massacre, killing everyone in the diner again. At the end of the rampage, only Anna remains. He takes her aside and confesses he's tired of this endless loop. He believes she's the key, that killing her will finally end it. Anna cries and pleads, saying she has a daughter, but he ignores her and stabs her to death. Sobbing, Charlie runs outside to his truck, but before he can drive away, the time reset again. But this time, Charlie is stunned at the sight of a priest sitting calmly inside the diner. Charlie, desperate for answers, talks to him. The priest asks what he has learned. Charlie admits he just wants to go home. David signals him not to speak, but Charlie continues. He confesses that he's done horrible things, and the priest tells him that he still has a choice: redemption or damnation. Charlie cries and begs for salvation. The priest tells him, then start over. Then the loop resets once again, but this time Charlie changes. He stops the junkies at the door, warning them not to harass Anna, respectful, and tips Anna generously. He thanks the nurses and advises the cheating couple to fix their marriage before it's too late. And for the first time, he laughs with Sam and Gary, genuinely happy. And when Anna's shift ends, Charlie walks her to her car. They talk about the stars, about her 10-year-old daughter, Amy. Touched by his kindness, Anna kisses him softly. Then they get into his truck, and for a moment, it feels like peace. But then, Charlie stabs her. This time, the loop doesn't restart. Instead, Charlie wakes up in a sterile white lab surrounded by doctors. The priest is there, but now he's Dr. Lovato. Beside him stands Dr. Stevens, head of the Neuroscape facility, and another doctor, Dr. Amy. Charlie freezes. Amy looks exactly like Anna. Then Charlie yelled that she was in the simulation, but they insist he's mistaken, claiming he must have seen her photo before entering. That's when the truth hits. Charlie was part of an experimental rehabilitation program for murderers. a virtual reality where killers are forced to relive their own crimes again and again until they feel remorse. If they succeed, they walk free. If they fail, they're sent back. And Charlie failed, miserably. He's denied parole and thrown back into his cell. There he notices David and realizes he was another killer in the same experiment. Later, Dr. Stevens proudly tells reporters how their technology can reform even the most evil minds. But one journalist dares to ask if forcing killers to relive their crimes is unethical. But Stevens says none of it is real.
Meanwhile, back in his cell, Charlie trembles in silence. He hasn't slept in days, terrified of waking up back in that diner. Then, Dr. Amy walks in, holding a syringe. She leans closer and whispers, "Say hi to my mom." That's when Charlie realizes she's Anna's daughter. In the end, Charlie wakes up screaming, right back inside the diner, condemned to relive his nightmare forever.
With that, the movie ends. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.